Here we are then, smoker going. Let's have a look in this little hive together, see what we can find. You never know what we're going to find when we look in a hive. It's like looking for treasure. You never know when you're going to find it and what you're going to find. So let's have a little look in here and have some fun together. Here we go then. I'll give it a bit of smoke already. We'll have a look. We'll take this. Oh, this is the roof. It's a bit stuck actually, a little bit. Here's my eek for the feeder. Now it is a bit of a balance, feeding and not feeding. It's empty, that is, so they've taken that down. We'll see what the balance is, whether to feed or not to feed. You've got to be a little bit sort of a judgment thing. Judgment call, isn't it? Have a little look in here. So this is one of them crown boards that you can actually turn upside down, you see, to give you a gap. That's where I've got the happy guard on. They still haven't, because it's only been 10 days and they haven't had the full 2 weeks yet, but most of that's gone, as you can see. Just a little bit left there. So we'll have a look, see how they're doing with honey stores for the winter coming up. This one's empty. That's empty. Bees are quite calm on there. I'll leave that down there a minute. Have a little look. I can easily give them some more feed. We've got the ivy coming soon. See, that is sort of half or a third full with nectar, or even sugar syrup, because I have fed sugar syrup, so it's probably a combination of both. That's got sugar syrup in it. So that's, you can see, you know, we've got another couple of months that they can store, or 6 weeks sort of thing. You know, they'll be storing nectar. But the ivy around here will be coming out in about a week's time. And so they'll be filling it up with ivy, which, when it's mixed with the sugar syrup what I've put in here and the ordinary nectar, it probably won't go quite so, see, look, that so hard as just leaving it with nothing. So that's sort of almost to the top with nectar. If we can sort of hold it on an angle, you can see maybe. So the bees have been clearing that down through the hive, look. Just a little bit left there now. Leave that there. So it's doing its job, the mite treatment, I'm sure. Yeah, look, that's all nectar and sort of half capped. You can almost take that away without your hive tool, because the populace is that soft populace again. So if you notice, when I'm doing my beekeeping, I keep my hive tool in my hand instead of just putting it down like that and doing things. I try to keep it in my hand so that you've always got it to hand. Because like the other day on my last video, do you notice I left the plunger in the hive, the plunger bit, which is easily done. And after I finished filming, I realised I hadn't got it, and I went back in and took the plunger out. So it's easy, something you can do. Leave a pen in the hive or something, you know, when you get a bit senile like me. There we are. Look, that's fully capped, so there's quite a lot of weight to that. So you can keep in the hive tool in my hand. I can just easily get that to each frame. Look how these bees are acting as well. They're on the frame. Have a look at that. They're just on the frame. Don't even really care about me. Look, being in here. It's see, that's capped. Have a look in this one. It looks like we've got 3 or 4 frames without honey in there. That's got nectar and pollen, quite a lot of pollen in there. There's no eggs up here. There's no eggs at all in this top bit by the looks, unless they've got any in this one. Let's have a look. No, this is just nectar and pollen. So you've got 2 pollen frames there, which is good. We like pollen for the winter, and bee bread, you know. So that is doing quite well. And I'll put this back now. I'm picking each one up and putting it back rather than sliding, because look, oh, there was no brace comb on there, but there was on that other one. So you just got to be careful of that brace comb sometimes underneath. I think this one's got a bit on. Put that back there. Yeah, a little bit. See, there's a little bit of brace comb there, see? And if you slide it back, sometimes you can squash your bees, so you just got to be careful a bit. Well, that's that. So this is a nice frame. It's not sticking out anywhere. It's we'll fill that up with nectar soon. I've got an upturned lid there next to the hive, and what I'll do is I'll put this, well, it's a honey super, but it's classed now as a brood and a half because we're using it for brood, although they're not putting brood in it. We'll put that down there, and I'll cover it up whilst we're working on the bottom one. Now we'll have a little look through here together. I will just give them a little tiny bit of smoke. I know they're behaving themselves. There we are. Oh, the sun's come out all of a sudden. That's when I could do with a dummy board here really. I haven't got one in this hive. It's better to have a dummy board, but this one hasn't got one. What we got in here? This one is just half full here with straws, and this is empty down here. So there's some room in there for putting nectar and straws in. There's no queen on here. Just check. Haha, we don't want to lose the queen, do we, this time of year? No queen. So we'll take this out so that the hive's got a bit of space to work in. They've got the hive tool, just ease it out. This one's full of stores, you know. This one's full of honey. You can feel the weight of it as soon as you pick it up, can you see? So we've got a good weight full of capped honey there, both sides. So, you know, that's just, when they fill up, when these are full up, they're 5 pounds in weight, these brew box frames full of honey, 5 pounds. So you want 40 to 50 pound in there in the winter. So you know, that's quite good. Look as well, that's got quite a bit in it, hasn't it? You know, they're both 2 frames there, nearly full up. So what we've got to think of now, there's no room upstairs for the queen to lay because it's got honey in it, and there's no room here. So the only room we got is here. So we have to be careful that we don't restrict her room, because then we don't want them swarming. Like this one is 3/4 as well. A little bit of gap at the bottom. We probably get to some brood, I would have thought, that by now, in any second. Either this one or the next one, I would have thought. That's nectar. Oh, look at that. They've all got their heads in there, having a little feed. We'll probably get to some brood now. There we go, see what this one's like. It's a little bit stuck to the other frame, that one. Want a bit more room here. Let's be a bit careful there. Yeah, that's all brood there. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's all brood. One or 2 drones there. Let's have a look in there under the light. Wait, let's have a look, show you that, look. Right. There's the brood here, look. This was all brood down here once, and the queen has stopped laying there now. That's because we're getting the end of August, coming through the month of August, and it's starting to reduce in laying, so they'll probably fill that up with nectar soon. You know, so there's room there for the queen to lay. There is room for her to lay, so if she needed to, she would lay in there. There's no eggs in there. There's no eggs in there, so there's room there for the queen to lay. So we're not kind of putting it into the situation where there's no room for her to lay, so she's going to swarm. Even at this time of year. This is actually a drone comb, and I'm going to move this one because this is drone. There's quite a few drones in here actually. If I move this to the back of the hive, they'll fill that up with nectar. There's no queen on there, and there's absolutely no eggs because it's all drone. There's a few worker cells, but 95% of that is drone. There's a few worker cells just round here. Just there's a few worker cells, and there, but all that is drone. So you see drone that side, and there's quite a few actual drones in there. They'll be chucking them out soon, them drones. They won't want them in the hive for much longer. The queen is not on there, so that's okay. We'll probably find a lot of eggs and stuff in this bit here now. This is where we're going to likely find the queen now in the next couple of frames. See, that's completely full of cat brood, see? Cat brood, the whole thing. And that's all cat brood there, look. Almost the entire frame is cat brood. Anyone seen the queen yet? there's a play cup there, look. I'll just have a look in there. Investigation in there. Nothing in there. It's bone dry. Okay, nothing in that one. So it looks to me like they're using these frames, these 3 frames here, to keep laying eggs. I'm going to move that drone frame out the way because she won't lay drones now. She won't want to lay in there. So I'll move it out the way so they can put stores in it. That one. This one's probably full of eggs and larvae, I would imagine. Yep, this has all got eggs in it because, as I say, these 3 frames here are probably going to be where the queen's laying, and that's what they're doing. That's all full of. Oh, there's the queen. Look, with a green dot on it. You see? Can you see her there? I'll point it out if you can't see her in a minute. It's just there. It's got a faint bit of green on it. That pen I bought to mark the queens this year was a cheap one off eBay, and I don't actually think the ink was very good on it. See, just running down there. It's quite. Look, she's backing in. She went to back in then to lay an egg. Just there, look. Beautiful queen, like all the queens. I don't know why, they're all lovely, aren't they? They seem to be to me. You seem to be attracted to how beautiful they are. She's just looking around, look. Where's a cell I can place an egg? It's just amazing, isn't it? Look. She's looking, look. They're all attending to her, cleaning her, look, all the bees around her. Really well being looked after. Now there's loads of eggs and larvae in there. So we'll put her back now. So this, we know that, let's show you this, look. This has got eggs and larvae, this has got eggs and larvae, okay? This has got a full frame of cat brood, isn't it, that one? So we've got 3 frames there, and have a look, see what's happening in this one. Have a look in here, see what's happening. Ah, this is all eggs and larvae too. What about this side? It's hard to see because there's a lot of bees on here. Oh yep, full of eggs. That whole... Right, see, that's another frame full of eggs. Day old or 2 days old eggs, both sides of that one. So they're going to be capped and nice. That's probably winter bees here. And this one, this is probably going to be a honey frame. Not honey, it's probably going to be a pollen frame, this one probably, because it's near the door. Yep, it's got loads of pollen in there. It's just, this has got all sorts of different colour pollens in there, and so it's a good resource for the winter. It's not just ordinary pollen, you could say. It's colours of the rainbow pollen, all the thing, different colours. It's really lovely. So this is a good resource for feeding the larvae and the eggs. You know, well, not the eggs, the larvae rather. They hatch out and then they start feeding them in 3 days. But that's, you know, they do need that pollen. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 4 frames there full of eggs, larvae, and we brood. Actually 4, that's that one, and then 4. And then we got this one, haven't we? What was in that one? Oh yeah, that's nectar. So what I'm going to do now is this I'm going to put that. I'm going to put this one next to the brood here. Although this has got room in it for her to lay. These are all worker cells. All worker cells there. She could lay some eggs in there, so I'll put that next to that brood. And then that'll be a little bit more room. And this is a drone brood, so I'm going to put that at the back so they can put honey in it. Right, so this is all back now. We know the queen's safe there. So this drone brood, I'm going to shake these off of here. And then I can slide this down the back here. With all them bees on it, I couldn't slide it down there. There wasn't room. There's a lot of drones there. Look, they'll be chucking them out soon. We're better off shaking them bees on there like that than we are scraping them down, you know, where there's not quite a lot of room. So I'll just clear them bees off the edge before I put the next box on. There's no queen cells in there. Right. Let's get them bees off. Right, then we put the next box back. There we are, there's no bees in the way. Right then, I'll top this feed up with the 2-to-1 sugar syrup I've got here. There's no bees in there at the moment, so I can pour it in quick so you're not drowning any. But there's one come up now, so normally you dribble a bit of that, you take this off, dribble a little bit of that in so that they can smell it, but they're up there straight away on there, so there's no need to do that. Actually, that's the drone, look. It's a drone after some food. That's all they do is eat and mate. There. Put that back. This is the ink for the sugar syrup. So if I'll go around that way. Yeah, that's it. It gives it a bit more room in there. Right, recap then. What have I done? Check there's no queen cells in there. Check, make sure the queen's okay and she's laying okay, which she is. She's got 4 full frames of eggs and brood. Most of that is eggs actually, so she's laid right up after they've emerged. And I've also moved, haven't I, the drone frame to the back of the hive so they can fill that up with honey. There was no eggs in there at all, that was just empty, so they can use that as a honey space. And I've moved one frame next to the brood that was half honey and half empty, so it's basically I've given the queen a little bit more room to lay worker brood now, and they've got a bit more room to put stores in. So they've got, you know, I'd say 60 or 70% of the top box is full of nectar. I've given them a bit more feed. That'll be the last time I probably feed this hive now. So in 5 days time I go back and I change the ApiGuard to the second treatment for the last 2 weeks of a 4-week period. So I'll be doing that, and thanks for watching everyone. It just shows you, you know, you never know what you're going to find. Everything's going to be different. It's going to be a balance always. When you look in the hive, it's always going to be a balance, and sometimes you can make a decision different to other people would make. Everyone's got their own way of beekeeping. As I always say, this is my way, and you don't have to do exactly the same as me. Just I'm pleased that you watch and you might find it interesting. And thanks now for watching again, everybody, and thanks for all the nice comments. And the name for the new bee which I asked is now going to be Lay a Lot, and I thank you for the name, and I'll be putting that on the hive. So see you all again in the next episode, everyone, and keep happy with your bees. Don't worry about anything, keep going, never give up. See you all again soon from John B-Man Saunders. Bye everyone, bye.